my after I'm using it, my biggest concern is this. Just a question to end this conversation, maybe, is this: what should I teach my kids to study?
That's actually one of the questions I ask myself just right at this moment. Okay, so starting with you, EJ, what are you gonna teach your kids to study? You just have a big, beautiful baby boy, right? Is it?
Yeah, it's a 1 year old baby. No,
Mm,
it's not. It's not a matter of the teaching. Is as a father, I think what I have to own it is an IP. IP
mm,
is the only survival matter to succeeding what I have to my kids. Otherwise,
mm,
I don't know what to teach my kids. I can
mm,
only teach them to be innovative, but
mm,
Mm,
without the opportunity, I have a big opportunity to do this expo. I'm lucky enough.
mm.
But if my kids cannot have this opportunity with their talented idea, can they shine with this surge of AI?
mm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Mm.
What about you guys, Marco,
Well, I
May?
think the world is changing a lot quicker than, say, the last 100 years. I think our parents' generation used to think that, okay, well, I will build this family business and I'll pass on this family business to you, or, I will make all this wealth or money to pass it on to you for inheritance. I don't think that formula works. What if one day like Bitcoin just take over? And you make a bunch of like sort of US dollars in the bank account is going to be nothing. So I think kids growing up has to learn how to survive and be competitive and having the ability to kind of like untangle situations. And I think yeah, human being will survive and if you can have the skill to untie like situations, I'm sure my kids will survive into their happy life, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about you, May?
I don't have kids. But I told one of my cats that I'm gonna support him and he can live a simple life. Joke aside, I love kids, so sometimes I teach kids during my spare time, which is not a lot, not more than not enough. But this is what I think. I I will I always tell them to be a human, as in I always encourage their self-esteem and compassion. And I mean there are lots of knowledges in the world, like, and it's just like plenty out there, and I have no clue what to teach them. But something that we humans can do is to be compassionate, to have self-esteem, to be grounded. And those things are fundamental, and people, when STEM hitting, people stop talking about this. I think in the heart of hearts of all the parents, they want that, but I
Mm,
don't think it's been emphasized enough on how important it is being a human, a soul, whole human. I'm not talking about good or bad, but a whole human.
mm.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, I actually, strangely, I mean, I told my kid recently I'm on a mission to teach my kid how to socialize because he spends way too much time playing video games, and he would, and I've already limited his use of phone. He's cool with not having a phone around,
mm,
and I'll actually give him incentive when he sees his grandparents to practice socializing, which is talking to him and being interested in a person. And it's actually quite, I don't want to sound bad, but it's actually, as a kid, it's actually quite hard to find your grandparents interesting.
mm,
Especially when your grandparents are not, very like socially like, flamboyant or whatever. Like, so he actually, I think that's teaching him to be human. A lot of it has to do with the fact that like when everybody's going towards looking at the phone all the time to becoming to understanding socialization, because as Marco says before, like, it's about um, you do business with people that you like, that first of all. But then the way yeah. So I think that's socialization is very, very, very important. I think number
Yeah.
one. But the way I teach my kid about how to succeed in the future is, I mean, McLuhan. I don't know if you guys know like McLuhan. He says that more as the world becomes more technologically advanced, the key to learning for kids is pattern recognition. And for me, it's I always tell my kid, look, you don't use half of the stuff that you learn in school, but what you learn in school is to treat everything like a game. Look at what's the parameters of the game. Like for example, in a video game, right? Your hero could jump, could do the spin, could do this thing, but you learn the parameter of what the game allows you and not allow you to do, and within it, you try to find ways of exploiting that. So you could do double jump or whatever, and so being in school is to actually understand. Okay, this is what they're asking of me. This is how I learn. And maybe you'll learn something in the middle, but like the main thing I think for my kids is to understand that the parameters of the game and to adapt when the parameters change. So I think in the future, and that's what you apply to in life also.